can't remember the last time I openly spoke to someone from the media.
Helen Yee here in Las Vegas. Always great to be joined by the one and only Mr. Marc Goddard. Always great to see you. And I have to say, we're birthday twins.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
August 16th.
August 16th.
All the best people are born on August 16th. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Bit of a difference in age gap, but yeah, it's the best day.
Yeah, best day ever. And I think even Madonna is August 16th, if I remember correctly.
I think so. And I think it's the day Elvis Presley died too, if I'm not wrong. I don't know. Not bringing it down or anything.
I was just going to say, way to dampen the mood. Yeah. No, I'm kidding.
I know we share it with Madonna for sure.
Yeah, that's a good thing. And look, with the holidays coming up, how are you going to celebrate the holidays?
I'll be back in the UK. I'll do this show. I'll go back to the UK. I have a couple more events before Christmas, and then I'll be in the UK, and then back again stateside. Actually, I'm starting back. I always have a couple of weeks off in early January. I think my first event is in Europe, second week of Jan, and then back on the carousel.
So you're traveling in a luggage, basically, just living in a luggage on the road?
That's for the last X amount of years, yeah.
Well, because we are birthday twins and the holidays coming up, I got you a gift.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Am I to open it now?
Of course.
Oh, man. Very cool.
Well, you love black coffee, right? You're a coffee drinker.
And tea. I'm a Brit, so I have to drink tea.
Which kind of tea? Green tea?
No, black tea. But it's how we have it in Britain. You know, there's wars over tea in Britain. We have proper tea with milk and sugar. That's how you have tea.
Really? But I'm Chinese. We like it green and bitter and plain.
Green tea is fine. I might still get it up. Let me stay on the tea for one. Look. People don't, especially when I come to the US, we'll start fights over this. How we have tea in the UK, number one, it's the proper way. Yeah. And number two, it's very specific. You know, the order of things. Yeah. There's no milk in before the water in the bag. Sugar, if that's your thing. The colour of the tea, how much milk you have. It's important.
No disrespect, but that sounds like a London fog, right?
A London what?
A London fog?
London fog. No. Honestly, look, ask any self-respecting Brit. Okay, we have tea with milk and sugar. It's the only way to have tea.
I'm sorry, we might start a fight here. I'm Chinese. We don't add milk to our tea or sugar. That's taboo.
Like, I like green tea and stuff. You know, back in competing days when you're cutting weight, green tea was always a friend. But tea in Britain is an institution. It's a big thing. It's a massive thing. Honestly, there's like divided families over how you have your tea. It's a massive thing. Look into it.
I will, and next time we'll have some tea because...
To this still. Sorry. Okay. All right. What is that?
Red bean sesame balls.
They look very appetizing.
It's really good. The Schmo loves it.
And what is that?
Open it.
You know what? I know what this is. Oh, fuck. I know what this is. I know what it is. Wait a minute.
I know you're very cultured.
It's chicken feet, isn't it? It's chicken feet. Look.
You didn't open it.
The sesame, I did open it, I promise you. And a fortune cookie. The sesame balls, I don't have to try these now, do I?
No, I mean, but if you want, you know.
I know it's look, I've been to China a few times, and I'm fortunate enough for China, you know, and not just the main destinations, but I've gone inland as well. Yeah. And obviously, you know, not like culturally, it's just so different. Try and explain that about the food and stuff. Yeah. When you go to Shanghai and Beijing and places like that, you can get things that we recognize. But I've had some pretty wacky experiences going inland in China. It's amazing and everything, but yeah, these are warm. You've just put in there.
I literally just got it.
I swear, look, I've just had a coffee, so I don't know if coffee and chicken feet go together. I promise you I will try them.
Can you send me video when you do?
I will send you proof, I promise, of me trying it. Because if I spoil the moment now eating a chicken foot just off the back of a coffee, I just don't want to do that. But thank you so much. Honestly, I'm touched.
Of course, but next time, we'll continue our tea debate.
Did he try it on camera?
He did.
He did? Yeah. Fucking hell, Herb, thanks.
I'm going to try it.
Yay, I'm happy.
All right. Okay.
You're grabbing its
I'm
finger.
going to do it like that. All right. It's a little cold, right? Usually this would be warmer, right? You know, because it's kind of gelatinous around the edges here. Now, what's the best part I should bite at? I'm going to bite right here. Okay.
Oh, yeah, that looks good.
Okay. It's good.
It's good. Herb Dean approves.
Yeah. I'm on a diet, so I'm not going to finish it. But it's tasty. Yeah. I'll have to get some of this when I'm not on a diet.
So there's bones in the chicken foot, right? So what happens with that?
Spit it out.
Right, okay.
We don't swallow bones.
Okay. And it's got like a coating on it, a batter or something.
You've never tried it, and you've been to China. You know what?
Really on my list.
Maybe at the end, I hope I can convince you.
Okay.
That would make my day.
But now you've really put me on the spot.
No pressure. UFC 323, last pay-per-view of this ESPN UFC era. What do you make of this and here in Las Vegas?
Yeah, I mean, look, the last, I mean, every pay-per-view is special, right? Vegas is special everywhere we go. But obviously being the last, in the pay-per-view era, I know they're still going to be doing numbered events, right? Yeah. But yeah, it's another historical, it's another page in the book, as I call it. And I'm just thankful to be here and partaking in it again.
Looking at UK MMA and the current champion, Tom Aspinall, the other day he talked about his eye and having the doctor look at it. You used to compete, obviously you ref. What do you think needs to be done to mitigate eye pokes?
I think it's a combination of things, to be honest. It is a combination of things because, and here's the thing, I was obviously, the refs and my colleagues, we talk about things, and I was trying to remember back. I've been a referee for 21 years now. I've been doing this refereeing. I've been with the UFC for 17 of those. Obviously, we've had eye pokes in the past, but it was never such a prevalent thing as it is now. And obviously, look, what happened, it's, as we say in England, sod's law. You had a world championship heavyweight main event, got sidelined and sidetracked because of an eye poke. Nobody wants it. It's sad, it's not good, etc., etc. But I think there's two things. A lot of people now, they get caught up in what do we do if there's an eye poke? And, they want to see immediate deductions, and they're talking about fines for fighters and all kinds of things. And look, we have got to try and change the game. Maybe some way that fighters, stylistically, how they approach the game. But that's the second part, the cure. People are talking about what do you do if there's an eye poke. Yeah. I think, I've done it myself, from looking at things, I think we need to look at preventative measures too. And I think a lot of that rests in the glove. It's not like a magic, there's no rocket science. It's not a magic wand. I'm not saying that, it's an easier mechanic as well. If we have a difference in the glove, without getting into it here, talking about how fighters' hands are during a fight, in a natural C, closed. Obviously, they still have to be able to open their hand to facilitate the grappling. But I think it's a twofold attack. One is mechanical, like I said, a change in the glove, a design to make sure that we can at least help to keep the hand in a relaxed state. Then if it's what I think then for referees, it's a much easier mechanic. Because if somebody is stylistically opening their hand through a cognitive choice, it's an easier mechanic and something easier for us to deal with in the event of pokes, and people are talking about point deductions, and it's not an overnight thing, I know it's frustrating. I know it's hard stylistically. Some fighters are out there. I can tell you this as well. When people are talking about intentional, this, that, and the other, fighters are not out there intentionally trying to poke people in the eye. Try and explain that to people, but sometimes you're talking to a black hole in the abyss, Some fighters do fight like this naturally, stylistically. It's never a problem for them. Other fighters employ a different tactic. When somebody runs towards you, it's not a natural thing to keep your fist closed if someone's running towards you. Sometimes people are running towards you and your hands are open because you're ready to swim inside or clinch or whatever it may be. I just think that, we have to have a logical head on this. We do need some things to change. That's what we do with mixed martial arts. We're still a young sport. I think we're still evolving. And, the ABC committee, the rules and regs, we did have a meeting about this recently. Herb spoke to you about it as well, to tackle this topic. And like I said, if you've got a fighter who's stylistically been the same for 15 or 20 years, no matter what we say to them in the locker room, they're not going to change it, But maybe how we employ and how we do things differently mechanically in the event of an eye poke, that can change, and we're on it. That's all I can say. I know people aren't going to be happy about that. They're going to be swimming all over the comments.
Literally.
But trust me, look, in a fight, I've never, ever, like I said, 21 years as a ref, I've never actually, in a free-form fight when people are exchanging blows, I've never once thought that a fighter has done that intentionally to poke someone in the eye. It just doesn't. I've got news flash. It just doesn't happen like that. Unfortunately, stylistically, unfortunate, bad things happen in fights, and we're going to tackle it. That's all I can say. Please side with us.
Very well said. And you are a great ref. And something else that did happen on our birthday, August 16th, Khamzat Chimaev versus DDP, that happened in Chicago. I know you ref that main event. And to provide clarity, because like you said, it's still a young sport. We're still getting new fans every single day. Can you clarify what, in your opinion, is considered stalling?
It's not so much stalling. And it's like, look, we need to be, and I know you asked Herb the question too, and he had a great answer. It's how this sport is, and if you look at the unified rules document, there's an actual sentence there. There's paragraphs in dialogue there for us to tackle this. This is a combat sport. And we know sometimes, look, I know myself, whether it's 15 minutes or 25 minutes, no fighter can or should be expected to sprint, meaning it's all out attack, bell to bell. Some fights play out like that. Everyone's in for a treat and it's amazing. Sometimes there's a natural ebb and flow to fights, and sometimes fights get to a position where that it's not going to advance any further. And when I say advance, I mean positionally or scoring, attacking. And here's another thing, another news flash. No matter what we do, you're going to upset people. What I've tried to do is like an educational drive as well, that we say to people, look, we're mixed martial arts. If you look at any of the core sports that comprise MMA, okay, we'll split it down the line. You'll have grappling arts, you'll have striking arts. If I go to any striking art, whether it be boxing, kickboxing, Muay Thai, how long do you think you get in a don't even say the word stalemate position. How long do you get in a down period when two fighters come together and they clinch and they start boxing? You get literal seconds before the referee's intervening. If I go to the grappling arts, judo, wrestling, jiu-jitsu even, jiu-jitsu where the sole emphasis is to submit your guy, referees are on you in seconds. But I think we still have a lot of work to do because we have this inherent belief, this archaic, crazy belief that in MMA, we shouldn't have any interventions. And if I manage to take you down and hold you down or stay in that position, that we shouldn't touch you. And I think that's a dangerous precedent to set. If you look at the other core elements of combat sports, the emphasis is on action, continual and pressing. Anyone who knows who have strictly boxed or wrestled, that is a sprint. MMA, you can get the luxury positionally. And we know, look, in a championship fight, 5 rounds, game plans and things have to be worked out. Us as refs, damned if you do, damned if you don't. Don't insert yourself in the fight. For God's sake, do something, stand them up. And I just think, look, we have to channel out the noise, and I just wish that people could perhaps look at it in a different way and understand that a combat sport is a combat sport. MMA is very unique. It's got its own set of rules, its own precedents, etc. However, even like I said, with you look at the other, the round lengths in other combat sports, 3 minutes, and then MMA is even longer, which kind of exasperates the thing more when perhaps we should be more like-minded or even-minded in separating them. Not say stalling is like, I don't like that word, but sometimes fights come to a natural, arrest when fighters they're not progressing the fight. And I'm sorry to say, it is their job to progress fights, either positionally or by attacking, doing something meaningful with intent, striking, etc., submission attempts, you name it.
So you did the right thing.
I absolutely believe I've done the right. And here's the thing, I'll tell you. Look, that was a 25-minute fight. There was 2 stand-ups in 25 minutes. 2. One came after 19 minutes. So don't say I didn't let the game plan play out. And look, Khamzat is an absolute monster, a beast, and it was frustrating for look, again, you hear so many things about it. It's just, like I said, sometimes I think, Helen, the disconnect, the level of ignorance and misunderstanding, it's deafening at times. And sometimes it's so when I hear things, he's helping another fight. Now, if you're going to say something, put some meaning behind it, Honestly, I could reel off a load of words, but I'm choosing not to do it, It's like we need to understand what this sport is, what we're looking at. And it's literally, not actually, but literally the referee's job. If a fight comes to a certain point where you think it may not be progressing, there's an intervention there. And like I said, go and look at any other core element of the sport. Yes, we are our own identity, but we're still a combat sport. Progression. I don't know.
Well, you guys have such a tough job, and I have so much respect for what you do. For the fans, if they want to learn more, you also offer a great referee course, right? The next one is in Belfast, Ireland in February.
Yes, I do. Something I've done for years all over the world is teach officials, and it's one of my favorite things in the sport, because I've worked with people that have come through the years, and now you'll see them at UFC events and UFC pay-per-views. And it's important to nurture a new crop of officials, geographically spread too. We owe that to the sport. I have an online, I have online content on my GoddardMMA.com, if I may. And I do in-person, only a couple a year, because they're very intense. And like I said, I take it on the road. The next one is in February in Belfast. And it's one of the most fulfilling things I do is helping and teaching other people to understand the sport and what we do as officials.
So you guys should sign up if you're interested. But not only do you do it all, and you've done so many great things, you're also the first person who's coached Leon Edwards. So how is he doing? Have you spoken to him lately?
No, let me qualify that, because people always said, why did you? And here's another thing. It's like, why have you never reffed the Leon Edwards fight? And it's true, because back when I was part owner of a gym in Birmingham where Leon first walked into, and Leon was a raw novice. That's what's even more impressive about what Leon did. The day he walked into the gym, he had no martial arts experience at all. Trained and situated himself in one place. I know he had a short spell at AKA, but he was like a homegrown, homebred talent by all the people who looked after him. Dave Lavelle became his head coach, and all the other guys. I was at that gym when he was a novice, an amateur. I had nothing to do with Leon as a professional fighter. I'd coached and helped him in his early days. But even that, what the media's like, what the internet's like. And from a personal standpoint, from an integrity point of view, you got to practice what you preach. I had a distant connection to Leon. I was his coach for a short time. He was in my classes, etc., etc. I then left that gym shortly after. Leon then went on to, carve his own path. But the connection's still there. Just from a professional standpoint, the easiest thing to do is not do it. You know, I've had fighters in the UFC who have fought, fighters who have beat and was in the UFC and fought, and I'm like, I can't do their fight either. Just if there's something there, and that sometimes, you know, people don't realize that, particularly when we travel. You know, the UFC will see what the fight card is, and they'll ask us to disclose any potential. You know, sometimes, like, you know, the wise and smart, the older, more mature head in me tells if there's a potential issue to be not involved in a fight, that's the easier road.
Definitely. Well, for the fans who love you, what would you like to let your fans know?
I have fans. Oh my God. People listen, man, here's the thing. Look, MMA it's a fucking wonderful sport. It's given me everything in my life for the last 26 years. You know, and there is like the fans and stuff. And look, you're always going to get negativity. Don't even have to talk about it. I get some wonderful interactions from people. I get some amazing messages from people. I get some not so many amazing messages, but that's the role of a referee. But listen, man, I may not respond to everything I get, but I see and appreciate every single one of you. I love this sport. Like I said, I've been here for 26 years. I want to do another 26 if I can. Calm down. I want to do as much as I can. And like I said, anyone who supports me, thank you very much. If you see me at an event, stop me, say hi. All of the above.
And what's the best thing to eat when you're drinking your sugared milk tea?
Oh, well, it's biscuits. In the UK, it's tea and biscuits a thing, or tea and toast. That's a common thing for breakfast, tea and toast.
Not the full breakfast, and not chicken feet? Come on.
I've never heard of tea and tea. Well, in China it's different, but yeah, British tea as we have it. Yeah, if I took a chicken foot out, fuck knows what would happen.
Do you want me to eat one with you?
I mean,
he's sweating.
I am stuttering here. I am stuttering genuinely. I'm not going to offend you if I don't eat it right now, am I?
No, it's okay. He doesn't have a foot fetish, guys. I tried.
That's a good way of saying it. Definitely not a chicken foot fetish anyway. I'm sorry, Helen.
Next time, and we'll catch up more over tea.
I promise, I'd love to. I said, look, and here's the thing. I would like to say this. You know, we've spoke a few times. I like to give you access to what we say because I think you're fair. You guys give a good represent. The
Schmo.
The Schmo's behind the camera there doing his thing. I think you guys are good for the sport. You give a good representation of us. I turn down 90%, 9 out of 10 requests that I get. I'm talking all the way to the top, and the people who ask me, they'll know. They could vouch for that. We don't want to talk to media, you know. And when I say we don't want to talk to media, it's because people say, oh, these referees, you're not accountable. The judges, you should explain yourself. Okay, then you try and explain yourself. You're full of shit. You're this, you're that. You just want to be on camera. I'm like, make your mind up. Do you want to hear from me? Yeah. Do you want to hear from us? Would you like us to educate and explain, or would you not? You know what I'm saying? So like I said, I can't remember the last time I openly spoke to someone from the media, but if you're in town and you guys are in town, I'll happily always give you access.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
People for the sport, 100%, the pair of you.